it's raining today. It actually seems kind of bright in some spots. Who knows if it'll stop. With that in mind, what did I read today? It's kind of interesting reading this one. It was good news. Apparently this happened back on Christmas where there was a lost dog in some kind of, I guess, canyon or waterfall area. And apparently they used a drone and found the dog, and they actually have videos of it, which is kind of interesting. Here in the story it says, on Christmas Eve, a local man was hiking near a waterfall canyon and became separated from his dog named Nala. After a long search, he was not able to recover her before nightfall, and Nala had to spend the night on the mountain. According to this, the owner actually went back to try to find the dog, which he did, but it was out of reach, unfortunately. And it says the owner was out of cell service and was finally able to answer one of the many calls. He had located his dog above the waterfall but was unable to get to her due to the steep and icy terrain, because the only way to reach the area of the dog was via technical climbing. Given the terrain and weather, our team responded, and with that they sent the drone. It was kind of interesting too in terms of the dog's reactions. It says our UAV team spotted Nala, clipped out above the waterfall and kept eyes on her until our climb team reached her. Given the fact that Nala had spent the cold, brutal night alone, she was a little nervous meeting her rescuers. However, with a lot of patience and a little help with the buzzing sound of the drone, Nala approached her rescuers and got some well-deserved care. So you can see in the videos too, as they mentioned here, at first when they found the dog, I guess it wasn't too comfortable around strangers, you can imagine. So it kept running away from the looks of it. And then as you can see, there's the drone obviously flying in the background, hoping to scout out the area. But what they implied was that the dog was afraid of the drone as well, but the dog was more comfortable around people, so the drone, I guess, steered it towards their direction so that they could rescue it. So that's kind of an interesting thought there. I always find when capturing animals and so forth, they can get used to it. I know a lot of people are usually shocked when I'm able to film something like, for example, like the eagles, like they just don't care. You have to fly like a certain way, I've noticed anyways. You have to let them know, I'm here, I'm not here to harm you and so forth. And then afterwards, they just don't care. If you go too aggressively, then just like a regular human, in my opinion, you'll start to startle, run away potentially. But it's great in this case, where it ended up in a happy ending. What would be better in this case too if you were intentionally trying to lure the dog in a specific direction with a drone? For example, some kind of noise or sound? Or would you use some kind of bait, for example, food, to guide it to where you want it to go? And I read this today, which was one of the biggest stories, I guess, of the year so far. It relates to that FTX scandal where a lot of people lost a lot of money. And the person at the center of the attention is Sam Bankman-Fried. And with this story, it kind of broke down to where a lot of his money went to, which makes you wonder, is this guy actually going to be punished? This one here says, Sam Bankman-Fried funded more than 90% of a leading DC ethics group's political arm in 2021. Embattled crypto financer Sam Bankman-Fried almost single-handedly funded a prominent Washington ethics organization's political arm in 2021. Bankman-Fried donated $760,000 to the Campaign Legal Center's Action Fund in 2021, according to a spokesperson for the organization. Tax filings turned over to Insider confirmed that Bankman-Fried's donation amounted to more than 95% of the CLC Action's revenue for that year, and roughly 94% of his expenses. It also noted that he donated more than $2.5 million to the Campaign Legal Center and its affiliate organizations since 2021. The $760,000 donation was part of two major pledges he made to the CLC Action, the other being a $300,000 gift in 2022. $300,000 gift? Holy smokes. So did this actually help him? It says Bankman-Fried's lavish spending helped support CLC Action, a 501c4 social welfare organization, as well as the Ethics Watchdog's tax-exempt charitable arm. Under its action group, the Campaign Legal Center filed a number of prominent lawsuits in 2021. One of those suits, filed on behalf of the gun violence group founded by former Congresswoman Gabrielle Guilford, alleged the National Rifle Association engaged in a campaign finance scheme to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. It'll be just really interesting to see how this whole thing unfolds. You have all that scandal this year of like what, that Elizabeth Holmes lady going to jail, and now this. it just goes to show you how some people just get away with it for some reason. And I think the scary thing is just how many people fall for it, unfortunately. I guess that's pretty universal, where people can look and talk like the part, but usually and many times is those people who are willing to, I guess, tell you as it is, and they don't seem as formal as what you would expect, but ultimately they're more honest. So I usually, I guess, try to look out for that. And it does come down to consistency. If someone seems like they're just doing this and that, where every time they're, I don't know, they're trying to sell a service, make money out of it, it doesn't matter how much you donate and so forth, there seems to be an underlying reason where ultimately they're just doing it to make more money or increase their power per se. Or maybe it's like that saying I've often heard where it's easier to fool people than to convince them that they've been fooled. So it could be like in these cases where some people, they put all their money and support into a fake guru per se, and at the same time they attacked people who just exposed the facts. So I can imagine they would be too embarrassed just to say, okay, they're wrong, and they'll just continue the cycle, unfortunately, in that case too, huh? Okay. Whoa. Should I just throw it back in? Okay. Do we need interim orders now and people throwing tennis balls for their pets? Looks like the rain did stop a bit too. Alright, see you guys later.